Graham, working with Graham. Obviously, he is riding high on the success of The Hobbit, Part 2.
Yeah, I mean, we've got such an amazing cast. Graham is
Huge.
fantastic.
He looks like it,
He's tall.
He's tall. He's super fit. Yeah, I was.
He loves his lattes.
He loves a cafe latte. Yeah, if you want to get on the right side of Graham McTavish, buy him a cafe latte. No, I mean, he worked out obviously a lot for the Hobbit films, but he's working out really hard in this as well, and giving me a run for my money. And but I mean, not only Graham. You know, we've got Gary Lewis who plays his brother Colin, and he's just a phenomenal actor. Slightly smaller, but yeah. And there's all these elements to the show as well. Like obviously he's got these this condition, his legs. So there's all this sort of CGI that they're going to be doing to that as well, and it's just expanding the whole universe.
So this show is on Stars. I don't know if you watched Spartacus, but I did. It was a very sexy show. How sexy is this show going to be?
I think we'll be quite sexy.
We're trying.
Yeah, no, I mean, obviously, Stars they're not afraid to kind of, go there. Yeah, and I think that, this story is quite a passionate, it's an adventure, but it's also a passionate love story. And, I think it's very intricate to the story, how sort of sexually comfortable Claire is, and there's a great passion between her and Jamie, and there was also that with her and Frank. So we're showing that, but I don't think any of it's gratuitous or unnecessary.
Ultimately, this is they've stuck really close to the books, and that's what we want to do is do a really good adaptation of Diana's books. So if it's in the book, it'll be in the TV show.
How gruesome does it get? Because Claire has medical skills, and there's lots of things to take care of. And are we going to be having those moments as we watch?
Maybe a little. I mean, it's been really fascinating, all of that. There's a little bit of blood and gore, but it's not. Again, I think it's not excessive.
Can you reveal about your first day?
My first. Oh, I don't know.
I'm not sure if you can.
Can we talk around it? Is
that
what you're talking
about?
No,
my first day. It's from the war, so it's Claire as a nurse during the war, and I have to clamp an artery, and there's like lots of blood. I mean, I kind of finished the day, and I felt like I'd come out of a scene from Carrie.
With a red wash on your hair, you had your own red coif then, probably, after all the blood.
Yeah, exactly.
Ultimately, this it's the world that they live in 1940s. The end of this terrifying thing, and then going back into our time, which is a very brutal, hard world, and it's the reality of that, and it's kind of hard to get your head around.
So yeah, let's talk about what you guys have been doing for the fans. I love these little Learn to Speak Outlander video sessions. How important is it for you guys to do that kind of stuff and build it up?
Yeah, I think the Gaelic is a really strong, important part of the whole thing. I mean, they're clearly in Diana's books as well, but Claire is in this world where it's an alien world to her, and there's a lot of a foreign language they speak, but it's a strong part of what Scotland is, and I think that's a part of the TV show that's really going to shine. I think we were talking about this, it's a love story between Jamie and Claire, but I also think Diana's books are kind of a love story about Scotland. She's fallen in love with the place, and I think hopefully the viewers will as well, and it really is a beautiful place and shines.
Okay, here's what I want to ask you guys as we start to wrap up. I want you to tell us what people are going to love about each other's performances. Like, what are people going to love about her performance? What are people going to love about his performance?
What are they going to love about my performance?
You can share
question. We're going to be digging deep here. No, Katrina, we knew from the second that she came into test and she left the room, we all knew she was the one. She had to play.
Aww.
She had to play Claire Randall, and she does. She absolutely walks on set, and she controls the whole thing with humor and skill, and she's an absolute joy to work with.
And she's a good actress.
She's okay.
Yeah, it's the best I can get. I mean, Sam is incredible. We have so much fun on set. But I think, the thing that Sam brings, which is so necessary to this role, is there's this beautiful this beautiful mix of strength and vulnerability, which I think is sort of really crucial to Jamie. And, he's just such a sweetheart.
Don't believe everything she says. I heard of the books before, but then when I was asked to audition, I found out it was Ron Moore that was the executive producer on this, and his background, Battlestar Galactica and some great TV shows. So I was really excited to meet on it.
When did you find out about the huge fan community for these books? Was it quickly?
Well, you were introduced to it sort of the minute you got cast. I mean, I was cast about 4 months later, but and like Sam, I hadn't known about the books before, but I read the first book before I tested with Sam, and then I slowly realized the magnitude of the fan base, which was really cool.
Yeah, wonderful. Dan has sold 25 million books.
Just
25 million, and so there are a really strong, enthusiastic fan base, and we're so excited for them to see this show.
I think that's larger than the population of probably many countries around the world.
Than both of ours combined.
Absolutely. There's about 3 people in Scotland and about
2.5 in Ireland.
Yeah. So no, it is a really big fan base, and so there's a pressure to get it right, but I think with all the people on board this production, it's really going to shine.
Yeah, and they've all been really welcoming as well, which has been really nice. I was sort of a new sort of member to Twitter, and they've just been so nice, and there's so many of them, and they just send well wishes all the time, and it's really really supportive. It's really lovely.
I know the Houligans have been sending you sports stuff. Is that right? Are they sending you things as well?
I think I have T-shirts, the Catriots.
The Catriots and the Hooligans.
The Hooligans.
Yeah. They've been sending all kinds of wonderful things.
And they collect money for charity, and they've donated proceeds of all they've been selling T-shirts, and the proceeds go to charities that both of us support, and it's really incredible.
It's quite overwhelming.
How crazy is that? No one has seen an ounce of footage to know that this is a built-in fan base. They love you guys already. What does that feel like? That's gotta be weird. This is early days.
It's so exciting, isn't it?
It's really exciting. Yeah. I mean, because I don't. I mean, obviously there's a responsibility there, but I think it's something we've both taken kind of very gladly. It's like, I'm up for it.
Yeah.
I think we feel like we've got a really great show, and I think everyone's going to love it. So
I mean, everyone from Terry Moore, who's the costume designer, who's Ron's wife, but she's a huge fan of the books.
This has a lot to do with
this
her.
has a lot to do with her,
and
also
Meryl
Davies, one of the other producers, and the writers, Matt Roberts and all the others. They're all big fans of the books as well. So it's a really big collaboration, and we're so glad that Diana's supporting us as well.
So tell me actually what you guys sort of latched onto with these characters. Like, what did you love about Jamie? What did you think was so amazing about Claire that made you want to play these parts?
It's a really good question. I mean, personally for Jamie, there's this whole wealth of knowledge, all these books that Diana's written. She's written, well, almost 8 books now, plus all the the extra stuff as well, the companion books. So there's a great wealth of knowledge, and he's lived this amazing life. There's all these terrible things happen to him, but I think the joy of it is the fact that we're starting right at the very beginning when he's 22, 23, and he meets this English woman, and it's just I'm really excited for what's going to come in the future. Basically, it's to sort of live through the books with the viewers as well.
She's ballsy, isn't she?
She's amazing.
Claire.
I mean, for me, that was the thing. It's this real gem of you very rarely get these incredible female characters. She's very intelligent. She is very self-possessed. She's hugely passionate, and it just and it's this. Also in this crazy situation, she's come from this being a nurse in the war and being very, and it's this also in this crazy situation, she's come from this being a nurse in the war and being very proactive and very active in that, and then she finds herself in 1743, and you've got all the violence of the Highlanders and between the redcoats, but then this love that she has for this young man, and then the conflict between her love for her husband and this new love, and that, I don't know, that was all just such rich material for me to sort of approach.
She's always adapting to every situation, and it's interesting that actually thinking about it. Jamie does that as well. He adapts to his surroundings. in a film.
Tobias Menzies plays your husband.
Yes.
To start out with, what's it like working with him? He is from Game of Thrones, and it was his red wedding that everybody was shocked by a few months back. So.
Tobias is fantastic. I mean, it was quite nice. We sort of started off shooting with a lot of the 1940s stuff, which was really helpful as an actor because that's sort of, you know, the prism with what Claire sees the whole world through. And Tobias, you know, he has so much experience. He's, you know, worked on such great stuff. So it was really nice working with him, and he's an absolute sweetheart. So,
Sam, how's your relationship with him? Because you guys have some tough stuff coming up.
I can't stand the guy.
Well, that will fuel your later journey.
No, Tobias. I mean, as Kat said, he's, you know, an absolute professional. He's brilliant, and I think people are going to be really surprised. I mean, he plays obviously two characters in this, and they're very different. And Black Jack Randall is just. He's one of the great villains, I think.
Yeah, and it's amazing to see how, you know, sweet and kind of charming he is as Frank, and then, you know, just he flips, and it's this very, very different character he plays at Blackjack, and it's really, you know, it's really impressive. It's great.